What's up, guys? So I just wrapped up a workout and really had to just get this off my chest. You know, life has been very just different as of lately, and not just with myself, but like, you know, I'm 26 years old and, you know, I'm just starting to see, you know, I feel like at this age, you see everyone, it becomes very apparent what path people choose to go down. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I just recently learned a lesson on, how to learn a hard lesson. And, you know, the title of this video is called, you know, Never Bite Your Tongue. You know, there's this, I really believe that there's this sidekick part that all of us have to our souls and our spirit. And if you have enough clarity and you're not clouded with all the, you know, distractions and drugs and, you know, alcohol, you have that sixth sense that you just feel, right? Some people call it their intuition. Some people call it that gut feeling. But the point is you get that like pull from your body. And what most people do, including myself, is you bite your tongue. And when you bite your tongue, here's the mistake. When you bite your tongue, you think that maybe this will change or this won't happen again. And you know, you try to avoid, you know, conflict. But the reality is, if you read the book Atomic Habits, whether the action is good or bad, every time you do something, the probability of you doing it again increases by 40%. So if you go work out tomorrow, let's say you go work out today, the chances of you working out tomorrow just got increased by 40%. If you don't work out today and you skip the workout, the chances of you skipping the workout tomorrow also increases by 40%. If you have not read the book Atomic Habits, I think you absolutely should go grab that book. Read that book in like 2 hours on the way to, I was on the way to gym launch for the mastermind. But anyways, I want to get back to what I was saying, guys. There was something similar that I went through, and I didn't realize that I had been biting my tongue this entire time. I didn't know that's what I was doing. And if you bite your tongue for long enough, you actually end up building a muscle that you don't even realize, and it gets stronger than you can actually control. An example of this could be, for example, if you are in a relationship and your woman talks to you a certain way, and when she says something to you that in that specific manner, it doesn't make you feel good. But you don't say anything, so you kind of just shove it under the rug. But then 5 years later, you lose it. And you put hands on her, you get abusive, or vice versa, she starts putting hands on you. But the point is you allowed it to grow to a level where you couldn't even control it anymore. And you see this happen in relationships a lot of times. Now, as you guys know, I'm in business, and something that I recently had to overcome was something I would have never seen coming. And the reality is that I allowed this to happen. And a weakness of mine, and I genuinely want to speak to any business owner out there who maybe you had a traumatic, you know, childhood growing up. Maybe you didn't have much growing up. So once you build something, you know, I feel like when you come from a place where, you know, you're like in this hostile environment, when you finally get out of it, you want to just try to create as much peace and love as much as you possibly can. But the problem is, in business is a cold, cold place. And it's not about love and peace. Business is quite the opposite, guys. It is literally war. The customers that you want, the business that you want, the employees that you want, another employer wants it too. Everybody wants what you want. It's literally war. There is nothing peaceful or loving about business. The only thing good about business is you providing value to the consumer who's accepting the service or the product. But back to what I was saying, guys. You have to be very careful in business, because if you're someone like me who sees the best in people and not necessarily, well, let me reframe that. A friend of mine, actually my roommate, he always would tell me, if you want to know who someone is, watch what they do. And I had a big flaw in my, in my craft where I would kind of, try to mentor people through their, their ways or their, I would try to get people out of their own bad habits or get them out their own way. And the reality is, guys, is that as human beings, we're creatures of habit. And if you are consistently doing something that doesn't necessarily serve you, or whether it does, the reality is you're wiring your brain to operate a certain way. And the sad truth is that, you ever heard the term, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? That saying is not there on accident. It's mainly true for the most part. And sadly, a lot of people that I've come across who are stuck in their ways have wired their brain to where they actually don't even understand the harm that they're doing to themselves. And you see this with drug addicts, alcoholics, people who are in depression, people who consistently choose the wrong path. And if you are an entrepreneur and you're a high-level person, or maybe you're not an entrepreneur yet and you want to take that leap of faith, the number one thing you have to do. My life changed when I changed the people that I hang around with. My life literally, the fastest way to change your life is not a book, it's not a mastermind, it's not hiring a mentor, it's not even opening up a business. It's getting away from the people that you are currently surrounded with right now that don't make you feel happy. Or not happy, fuck the word happy, who don't make you feel content or you feel like you're not getting better. Like right now, if you can't honestly tell yourself that you would trade places with the people that you are around right now, then you gotta separate yourself. The hardest thing about this entrepreneurial journey that I've actually realized, the hardest part is embracing how lonely the journey is. And it's not that people don't want to be around you. It's not that people are shitty and, people just don't get it. It's not even that. The thing is that self-improvement is hard, and self-improvement is literally entrepreneurship. You are having to constantly change over and over and over. You have to literally have a new schedule every year. You have to be having new conversations. You have new goals. You have to constantly evolve, and to expect people around you to actually keep up with that, it's just really not realistic, guys. One thing that I realized is that if you are hanging around a specific group of people, but your responsibilities are drastically different, maybe you have a lease, maybe you have a house, maybe you have a family, but your other, friends that you hang out with don't have a lease, maybe they live at home, maybe they don't have kids. There's no real skin in the game. Like there's no real risk, right? They can kind of afford to just let another day go by, or let another, wasted week go by, or they can afford a night out getting drunk or something like that. The thing is, when you are chasing a successful business, a life full of abundance, you literally do not have time. It's the complete opposite. The second that you decide to join this race, the second you decide to join this journey, you literally do not have time. Because the guys who want this as well are actually making the sacrifices that you are not making. You don't think we want to go out and have fun and fucking, go on dates and go to these nice dinners? Everyone wants to fucking do that. But at a certain level, everybody works hard. At a certain level, everyone's fucking dedicated. One of the biggest misconceptions about being successful, what I've noticed so far, is that people think they can do focus. Like focus is like an action. And I realized that focus is actually not an action at all. Focus is actually quite the opposite. Focus is literally you. Focus is literally you, it's doing less, if that makes sense. Like focus is literally about what you don't do. And this is what people misunderstand. I see a lot of people who think they're chasing excellence or they're grinding, and it's a physical thing for them. Focus is literally staying focused on one thing and building your reputation one day at a time. It's boring as fuck. This is why focus is such a rare trait in people, because people have their eyes on everything. They want to be everywhere. They want to be everyone. They don't even know who the fuck they are. And this is why the easiest way to find someone who's not focused, just look at how they spend their day. Look at how they spend their weekends. Look at how they spend their free time. What do they do? Because focus is somebody who literally does one thing. Doesn't get distracted. Doesn't try to be somebody else. They just do one thing and they're all in on it. And then when they're done with that chapter, they go to the next thing and it's all in. Because you cannot be everywhere and be everyone. The last thing I want to touch on, guys, biting your tongue, for me, mainly came from having empathy for people. When I would come across other young men who are my age, living at home and in these relationships, bouncing around, sleeping with all these women, being womanizers and just stuck in that high school mentality, I genuinely wanted to bring some of these people with me, and I realized that seeing the best in people is such a big it's like this massive, it blinds you. And the only real way you can if you want to find out about someone, guys, and you have that feeling where you bit your fucking tongue, just understand that when you bite your tongue, you are teaching the wrong lesson every time. If I would actually say this, if you truly care about the person, if you truly care about your employees or your girlfriend or your family, and you get that feeling of you want to, and you bit your tongue, I challenge you, rather than saying something behind the person's back or biting your tongue, shoving it under the rug, if you really care about that person, go up to them and tell them, hey, I don't like the way this felt. I think this is wrong. Here's my perspective. And if they don't accept it, then that's when you have to cut ties with somebody. But biting your tongue does nothing for fucking no one. And I literally had to learn that lesson the hard fucking way. If you feel something, especially if you're an entrepreneur, I really do feel the entrepreneurs in this world are more connected with the universe. We get these feelings. We produce these this connection with the universe, and the world will start speaking to you. And if you ignore it, you're literally wasting your fucking superpower, which is, I feel like, being able to read people's minds and read energies, read body language. When you feel something's off, that is your fucking superpower, and that is where you are supposed to take action. Because for the small business owner out there, stop biting your tongue, because you are the reason why your company is not growing. And one last thing, guys. I used to always hear this saying, fire fast, hire slow. That shit couldn't be more fucking real. You see one mistake, you call it out. You see another mistake, you have to cut ties. Because if you don't, you are teaching the other people in your fucking team that this behavior is accepted. And the reality is, you think you're doing them a favor by allowing it, or maybe giving them time to improve themselves, but you're actually fucking making it worse for them. Because in a real business environment, in the real world, you don't get second chances. If you want someone to seriously improve, pretend you had a son or a daughter and they were consistently breaking the rules, no matter how well you fucking raise them. Sometimes the best you can do is let them go out into the fucking world and learn the hard way. Never bite your fucking tongue, whether it's relationships, business, or friendships, because it will literally fucking destroy your life.